Well, my name's Tiffany Paynter, and I'm someone who believes in the power of community. That was one of my core values. I believe in leaning into and learning from the wisdom of the collective, and I've served in various roles throughout my life. I went 40 on January 14th, and I've been working since I was 12 years old. So I've served as an education coordinator, I've served as an art teacher, as a community researcher. I've had roles running the St. George's Community Center with our wonderful staff. I've had roles as the executive director of Out Bermuda. I own a business. I've been an entrepreneur. And I believe in hard work, smart work, and service because I'm the product of two hardworking
Mhm,
Bermudians. My mom was a waitress, my dad was a bartender,
mhm,
and I saw how hard they worked to put food on our table and to keep a roof over our head. And they still struggled living paycheck to paycheck. I grew up in government housing up Top Square,
mhm,
but I was fortunate enough to get a scholarship to Saltus. And as I said in my announcement speech, that is an education that money could not buy
mhm,
because I was able to really observe our two Bermudas at a very early age in the 90s and 2000s.
mhm,
And for me, I'm running as I said because I felt like when I was looking out into the political landscape, I
mhm.
didn't know if I would vote. I didn't feel like I had anything to vote for, and then I realized I could offer that at the very least of not something to vote against, but rather someone to vote for. So that's why I put my hat in the ring.
So, sustainability, economic growth, social justice, those are all in your wheelhouse. But what's your vision for Bermuda in those three categories specifically?
Okay. So in terms of sustainability, one of the things that talked about in my speech was really investing in renewable energy sources. Because I believe in one solution solving many problems. So I feel like the true government investment in renewable energy sources will solve the problem of cost of living, bringing energy bills down. I feel like it also creates opportunity for a new job market here and training Bermudians, getting Bermudians to build solar units, maintain solar units, install solar units, and potentially run renewable energy businesses and companies.
And and to add to that, what are constituents telling you? What are constituents saying? What concerns them?
So I'm actually been very fortunate to get a wide variety in this weekend of canvassing of ages, races, etc.
Mhm.
So I tried to not to name people. I took notes and I know everyone's name, so I'm trying not to call them out now. But one young man, he was really upset that he feels like there's no jobs for young Bermudians and that they are being outsourced to foreign people in the uh, hospitality industry. One thing he said, I remember I wrote it down because it was brilliant what he said. We have foreign workers cooking Bermudian food and serving it to foreign people. And he felt very passionately that there is a better solution out there than that. And he felt very passionately that he passionate about his ability and his peers' ability to step forward into these at least like mid-level low and even potentially low-level tiers in the workforce. I'm hearing from seniors. I heard from one woman, beautiful. I wish I could say her name. She was a beautiful older lady. I think she said she's 82. When she said it, I couldn't believe it. I was like, man, your black really is not cracking. And she, she said she was, when she told, because she said, like, I'm paying for my son's insurance. I was thinking her son was going to be young. And she said her son was 60. And I was like, okay. So then I started to see a bigger picture of an older generation who's living longer and potentially healthier than their children. And now they're inundated with their own insurance and their children's insurance. She was saying that the rates of insurance have gone up by 15%. So these are the global things that I'm hearing. And then the education system. That in C2 is a very sticky point because many of the people in C2 send their children to St. George's Prep.
And, no independent candidate has been successful in the election since 1989. Stuart Hayward, obviously. Why do you believe you can change that? Well, I know why I think you can, but you tell me why you can.
For me, I just feel like the thing that it's all about the timing. That's what I feel. I feel like the timing hasn't been there. The belief hasn't been there. The messaging and communications around the value that independent candidates can bring hasn't been there. And I am a drop in an ocean right now. And this, like for instance, I think Sir John may have started as the first drop, and then person by person by person, Cyree, Susie, Wane, all these different entities coming forward. It builds a momentum that carries us all from feeling like, okay, if we can't vote for either party, if we feel like we're going to spoil our ballots, what more could we possibly do? Which is why I decided to go even further than just spoiling my ballot and try to convince people that rather than spoil their ballot or not vote at all, to come and vote for an independent. In my speech, I said, doing the math, around 10,000 people did not vote in 2020 that voted in 2017 in the previous election cycle, or 2016. And I think that's indicative of a growing apathy and a growing disinterest in politics. And I think this independent movement is reigniting and reinvigorating people and pumping some energy into a system that was on life support. And so for me, I just, as an individual, as a person, I feel strongly that I have great ties in my community. I'm sincerely invested in the betterment of the people of C2. I'm walking around, I'm knocking on doors. I'm meeting old teachers from St. George's Prep. I'm meeting old people I've played football with at the St. George Community Center, and not at the St. George's Cricket Club. And this is it. I feel like not just myself has the potential of really impacting the political landscape in a positive way, but there are such strong candidates in various constituencies. So,
it's really serious and it's exciting. But what difference do you think you're going to make?
I think people don't really understand how it can work. And so when I envision myself in the House, maybe very differently than anyone else does. I don't envision myself alone as a sole independent. When we do the numbers alone, there's 36 PLP candidates put forward. And on the opposite side of the other options, you have 36 from the OBA, you have 27 independents, and you have 10 from the FDM. So the sheer numbers alone give us increase our odds by 50% of breaking the echo chamber that exists in a parliament that has 30 members to 6, where decisions are made before they're even handed down, or there's no debate in parliament right now. But on an individual basis, I think people don't recognize the power of individuals to put forward private members' bills. There are private members' bills that have been put forward and accepted and put into law in our past. And those have been private members who have understood that the bill they're putting forward, it expands into every arena of life. It impacts positively multiple people of multiple generations and races. So if you're putting forward a good bill and you're able to make sense and really share and bring people into that idea and galvanize people around that, then it's possible to have huge impact.